Good morning, it's April 22nd. This is To My Liberal Friends. Yesterday I talked about the sticking points in the One Big Beautiful Bill that was passed last night by the House of Representatives. An agreement was worked out on the state and local tax deduction. It was not everything the blue state Republicans wanted, but it was a 300% increase in that deduction. It will only be utilized by higher income people in those states. The other major issue was Medicaid. Democrats are pounding away on this issue, claiming Republicans want to take away health care from people in need. Republicans, for their part, have not put up a vigorous defense of their position, and it's time for that to change. If they allow this issue to fester, Democrats will hammer them with it in midterm elections in 2026. It could flip the House to Democratic control. The current House bill proposal would cut the program's spending by nearly $700 billion over the next 10 years. That's according to a preliminary CBO budget analysis. That's a big number. GOP leaders, however, seem disinclined to explain what they'll cut and why. It's as if they believe if they're discussing Medicaid, they're losing. They really aren't. Republicans are wrong and have to start realizing that they have a lot of facts that are on their side and can counter Democratic propaganda by taking debate to them. GOP silence will make the inevitable Democratic assault more powerful. And Republicans have a lot of ammo with which to prevail on this front. The federal government admits it made $543 billion in inappropriate Medicaid payments from 2015 through 2024. Some experts think the real number is $1.1 trillion. Either way, it's close to what the GOP wants to cut. Hear that again. The government's own accountants admit there's fraud in the system, and the numbers they're talking about cover the amount the bill would cut and make the states get more aggressive in rooting out this misuse of funds. The numbers are on the Republican side. Republicans should start by declaring a strong commitment to save the program. Because of Democratic policies, Medicaid is spending hundreds of billions on people it shouldn't, those who are able-bodied and working age. Republicans want this assistance to go to people it was meant for, the elderly poor, disabled, and children in low-income families. Without reform, the program on which those Americans depend is at risk of rapidly becoming unsustainable. The GOP has said that able-bodied adults on Medicaid should be required to work or look for work. No freeloaders on a program that's meant for the truly vulnerable is a powerful argument to the voters. A February 25th Kaiser Family Foundation poll that Americans support, quote, requiring nearly all adults to work or be looking for work, end quote, to qualify for Medicaid, while 38% were opposed. It's told that such a requirement could ensure that Medicaid is reserved for groups like the elderly, people with disabilities, and low-income children. It was 77% that supported these kind of programs. Only 22%, that's the hard-line Democrats, were opposing these changes. Those are numbers that should be music to the Republicans' ears. The American public wants to require able-bodied people to be performing some form of work. Democrats don't like this idea because they want to keep people on Medicaid, as well as other government welfare programs like food stamps, because people get used to them, and Democrats hope they will vote for them to ensure they keep these freebies. As I said yesterday, a lot of people in these programs have found a way to game the system, so to speak, to limit their reportable income so as not to lose the benefits. That does not mean they're not getting forms of income. They're just not getting that income in a manner that's reported to the government. Republicans should also drive home, unlike radical Democrats, that Republicans oppose illegal immigrants getting Medicaid. Look what it's done out in California. It's blown a massive hole in their budget, and even Governor Newsom is now saying we got to stop it. House Energy and Commerce Committee Chairman Brett Guthrie estimates that over 1.4 million illegal aliens receive Medicaid, and that's probably a low estimate. That's not only wrong, it encourages people to try to cross the border illegally. Make clear that Republicans want to end fraud while Democrats are content to perpetuate it. Specifically, Democrats have made it harder for states to check their rolls frequently for ineligible Medicaid recipients. For the sake of fairness and accountability, the GOP will make it easier to find and remove those that don't qualify anymore. Republicans should admit that their change will cost some people coverage, then endlessly drive home that those people are illegal aliens, able-bodied people who refuse to work, and others who don't qualify for Medicaid under existing law. Most Americans are going to find this argument entirely reasonable and something they support. It's important that the GOP candidates show compassion, too. They must highlight the real people who depend on Medicaid and deserve help. Republicans must point to specific waste and fraud in their districts or states. Personalizing the issue will make it easier for voters to support what the Republican Congress is doing to make Medicaid sustainable. In sum, Republican reforms will help stop the government from wasting Medicaid dollars that elderly and disabled people need. They will resonate with voters, and polling shows it will blunt the attack made by Democrats. Point out that Democrats have no plan to cut the waste and fraud in Medicaid. They simply want to keep writing the checks and hope people cannot understand that there has to be reforms if the program is going to survive. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.